Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
I'm dying to see what America's going to do to this. I'll use my favorite word again, clusterfuck, 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 clusterfuck.
It's a trap.
It actually is a trap.
It's a trap.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Science is back.
And I choose science over fiction. And so if the science is demonstrated it's doing great damage, then I don't care what it does to a small business person who's selling this stuff. If it is damaging lungs, if it's causing the kind of damage that is said, and that study's not been fully done yet, if it turns out that it is, then I would eliminate it. I would make it, I would go after it in a hard way. I would make it broader, not just for he is.
If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful.
In England, the Royal College of Physicians has apparently done a great deal of research on e-cigarettes, and they have actually found that compared to smoking cigarettes, the rate of damage from e-cigarettes is 5% of what it is from smoking traditional cigarettes. You're reducing the damage by 95%. Hey, I don't think vaping or e-cigarettes are good for you. But if you have to choose between smoking and vaping, I happen to feel that vaping is safer. I don't think vaping is good for you, but it's better than smoking.
We're going to choose science over fiction.
And FDA has not used that terminology to use the most recent estimates of youth use. I will say that I'm an epidemiologist by training, so I'm fully cognizant of the definition of an epidemic, which is unprecedented increases over what you'd expect at baseline. That said, I think and know that the science has shown a decline in the number of youth users, and that's a good thing.
The FDA today calling it a dangerous epidemic.
The FDA calls teen vaping an epidemic.
Epidemic.
I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated.
Vaping is not as harmful as smoking. Kids are kids, and there's many, many, many reasons why they choose to do different types of things.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Good evening and welcome. Welcome to the show. There's people. There are some people here. It looks like Michelle, Elliott, and Mallory are the only ones that are talking. But hey, hello people. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna do things slightly differently. We do have a lot. Oh, Steve's here too. Hey, Steve. We do have a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I'm fixing a typo in the show notes right now because it is driving me crazy. But I have now fixed it. It was driving me crazy. There was a period missing. But anyway, so yeah, there's been some exciting things that we have talked about on the show that have come to fruition today and yesterday that we're gonna have some fun. It's all about free speech and stuff like that. But anyway, let's invite Kevin to join us live on the show. Let me find the pointy Kevin intro.
It's like segment opening.
What's going on, young man?
Nothing.
Well,
I have a headache. I'm in no mood for you.
Oh, well, if you have a headache, you wait. You're gonna love what's gonna happen tonight.
I want
Kevin.
you to zip along. I want to go to bed early. and feel better in the morning.
Well,
You do have caffeine.
what's early? I mean,
11.
Well, no,
Late is
it's not.
11:45. Huh?
Maybe not that early. Maybe,
12:30 is pushing me. It always is.
We got
Anyway.
stuff. We got stuff to talk about tonight, Kev. Stuff.
I will not be hindered by your hate speech or hate of speech, rather, not hate speech.
Well, you're the one that's like wanting to hear less speech, so shouldn't
what?
You're the one that wants to shorten the show to spend less time with our friends, Kevin, is what you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's what it is. As long as you feel better about yourself by saying
I do.
so.
I do love what it is.
They know better.
So Kev,
what? For fuck's sake.
Did you have anything exciting this week happen? This has been boring old, Kevin.
Just boring old man shit. I'm concerned that I've lived most of my life with tampons in my bathroom. I didn't really think about that until now, and I appreciate the stupidity that I've seen on the news.
Well,
from both sides.
There's a lot of stupidity, Kevin.
Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest.
Can't really help the stupidity, but we can only do what we can do. But so Kev, it has been a relatively event-less week. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of coverage of vapey stuff. There's been some. There was an entire scientific journal released, a whole volume about usage of vaping.
Did you see that graphic?
I did see that.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, but there hasn't been a whole. There's some. We're going to talk about some of that, but we're also we're talking about some media stuff that that you and I have been covering on the Rumble portion of the show.
Yeah,
a while back. You remember when Elon gave a speech and they interviewed him and he said, "Go fuck yourself." You remember that? Remember that? So some things have happened. We'll get to that in a little while. We're gonna do a full takedown of this whole GARM thing tonight, Kevin.
No boy.
We're gonna do a whole thing about the GARM, but the only thing is, Kevin, and you and I have covered this as well. There's not just GARM. Now, GARM, which I don't. We're gonna do that in a minute, but so let's talk about some people dying of synthetic opioids, Kevin.
What?
Yeah, we got a story here from our brothers and sisters down under. That a teenager in Australia, he dies after vaping synthetic opioid, 100 times more potent than heroin, Kevin.
Wow.
And they said that naloxone could have saved his life, but apparently, I don't know about naloxone in Australia, but for a while, naloxone was really easy to get here, and it was relatively affordable. Then it got relatively hard to get and extremely expensive.
Yes.
And it was almost like they didn't want anybody to have it, Kevin.
Well, why not?
Yeah. So let's see. It says here, after vaping a synthetic opioid, hey, Kevin, I do have to say, at least they were nice enough to include some verbiage in their headline that didn't leave it vague.
Correct. For a change.
At least in the headline, they were nice enough to include the fact that he was indeed vaping a synthetic opioid and not nicotine, because if they didn't put that in there and they just said, teenager in Australia dies after vaping, experts say naloxone, it could have been vague enough that people would not have understood what it was that he was vaping. So at least that was nice. That was, It says here, after vaping a synthetic opioid, a teenager from Queensland died and another young man from Victoria was left struggling to breathe. The synthetic opioid protonitazine can produce life-threatening toxic effects in very small amounts. Medical experts called for a wider availability of anti-overdose drugs and suggested that naloxone could have reversed these overdoses. So, there's that at least. They're, erring on the side of, hey, let's do some harm reduction stuff here and make naloxone available. But, hey, you still have to have a prescription for the other kind of harm reduction, for tobacco harm reduction. But, okay. After vaping the synthetic opioid, I'm going to say it again, protonitazine, a teenager from Queensland, Australia, died. Another from, that was the same thing I just read there. Medical, naloxone. So novel routes of opioid administration, like vaping, can appear relatively innocuous in comparison to intravenous administration, but opioids may still be absorbed at high concentrations, resulting in severe opioid toxicity or death. The authors wrote, according to the Department of Health in Victoria, that protonitazine is a novel synthetic opioid that can produce life-threatening toxic effects, Kevin. In very small amounts, it is said to be 100 times more potent than heroin. I think everything is more nicotine is supposedly more addictive than heroin. This new synthetic opioid is 10 times more potent than heroin. I think they're just comparing everything to heroin now, Kevin.
Yeah, lying about vaping is more addictive than heroin as well.
Yeah.
Studies have shown.
The teenage boy was found unconscious and hypothermic while paramedics attempted CPR. That means his body temperature was low. Tests confirm that protonitazine in his blood and in a THC pod vaping device the boy used. See, Kevin, here it goes again. So, again, if I'm a drug dealer, I'm pretty sure that THC oils to produce pods for pod vaping is significantly cheaper than this synthetic opioid. I would have to think.
I don't know.
That pot oil is way cheaper and probably more common and easier to get than this synthetic lab-made opioid.
Yeah. Steve Dan Jeffrey, by the way.
What dumb drug dealer is putting a more expensive, harder to get ingredient in their THC vape pods and not telling people and charging them for it?
Perhaps it was the two chuckleheads that were consuming it. I don't know. You never know.
The second case involved a man in his 20s who fell unconscious and had trouble breathing outside a concert venue after vaping. He required ventilation at the hospital, and blood tests confirmed it was that same protonitazine.
What? They did a blood test? Holy shit.
Yeah.
To properly treat the patient, that's what. Wow, look at that, boy.
We got a new guy in the. He says that you can only buy THC pods or carts from real dispensaries. It's the only way. I mean, it's the only smart way. But you can definitely buy THC pods and other things from guys in the park selling them out the back of his van or from the trunk of his car.
That's Big Brian's side job over in DC.
Yeah, I mean it is quite easy to get, even in states where it's not legal. Well, actually, in states where it's not legal, the only way to get them
it's easier
is out of the back of a guy's car at the park.
They get me every time with coffee. I don't know.
Or was that TikTok? The TikTok, Kevin? The TikToks? Isn't that a place where people buy those things now?
Fuck, I don't know. I have no idea.
We have
Dan and Jeffrey
Kevin,
and Steve.
Yeah. Kevin, we have repeatedly said on this show there's no such thing as a safe black market. We know that.
Well, we were assured there would be no black market.
And Midzeller, when he was the head of FDA Tobacco, said there would be no black market.
No,
there would be. But we already know that there's a thriving and very healthy black market. Almost every country in the world, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, see, believe. I'm just going to call you believe. Believe. Again, in states where it's not legal, like one I live in, Texas.
Yes.
The only way people are going to get it is to buy it off the black market, and we know for a fact that there is a demand, so there will always be a supply, always. And that's just the thing. And the war on drugs is such a profitable way for the government to work, and it helps so many people, and it's so successful, Kevin. Yeah. Nancy Reagan.
I'm convinced.
Nancy Reagan's "Just Say No" was the gold standard.
She couldn't herself, but she advised others. Never mind.
Yeah. Kevin,
that's what I've heard.
Yeah. So it says here we're seeing these potent synthetic opioids pop up in a whole lot of recreational drugs for people not expecting to use opioid. Again, Kevin, when. I just don't understand why. I mean, these drug dealers definitely don't work the way that they're supposed to. If they're adding an ingredient that costs extra money to their drug.
Yeah, that sounds unreasonable.
It still sounds kind of sketchy to me, Kev.
Yeah.
If somebody comes to me and says, I want a THC vape, I'm going to give them a THC vape. I'm not going to give them a THC vape with a more expensive and harder to get ingredient. I'm going to charge extra for that. I'm going to let everybody know, hey, this has got a little extra zing in it, boys and girls. You're going to pay a little extra for it, but I tell you, you're going to like it.
If you don't die, you can come back.
And then obviously you don't want to put an opioid with your MDMA, but according to this, or your ketamine or coke.
Evidently not.
I mean, you really don't want to. I mean, some of these are working cross purposes, and some of these already, your coke is a stimulant, so you don't want to definitely don't want to add an opioid to your stimulant. That is just stupid. That's dumb. And then obviously your ketamine, it's more of it's going to sedate you a little. It's going to, you definitely don't want to put two things that do the same thing together. That's just stupid too.
You don't want to end up like Keith Richards, do you?
Yeah, well, he's just, he has to get a blood transfusion every time he flies into the UK, from what I understand. That is like an old urban myth when I was in high school, like a long time ago.
Oh my God, I haven't.
The only time, anytime Keith Richards flew home to the UK, he had to get a full blood transfusion so he could pass the drugs.
I've heard it, but it's been a long time.
That's an oldie but a goodie.
Like the gerbils. Come on.
Yeah, so there's much higher risk of overdose and fatal overdose in people using vapes that contain nitazene. At least they've shortened it so that I can actually pronounce it properly, especially when they don't know. Shruumz,
they just don't know.
Yeah. So Shruumz also explained that there is an abundance of different substances and doses that people really just don't know what they're using. Well, and it's not confirmed whether the two boys were aware or not if they were vaping. Well, I promise you this, if they do self-reporting, Kevin, they're going to say, no, I didn't know that. I mean, there was an illegal drug in my illegal drug? No.
I only wanted the one.
Yeah. So, yeah. And see, here we go. See, they should be handing this they should be handing out naloxone to anybody that holds their hand out and says, please let me have some.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have like not dispensary, what do they call it? Machines where you can, vending machines. Yes, that's the word. Vending
next to the
machines giving these out. Yeah. Just like the bullet vending machines in Alabama and Oklahoma. Yeah.
That's right.
Medical experts behind the report stressed the need for wider availability of anti-overdose drugs and suggested that naloxone could have reversed these two cases. Well, it would have been nice to at least try.
Could have.
Naloxone is a medication that rapidly reverses the effects of opioid overdose and is the standard treatment for it. In November, the FDA issued a notice regarding the safety and effectiveness of certain naloxone hydrochloride products for over-the-counter use. According to Victoria's Department of Health data, naloxone is an easy-to-use medication and safe, even if you are unsure whether someone has said, yes, you can, the anti-opioid can be accessed free of charge and without prescription at 60%. Okay, so again, this is Australia. So that answers the question of whether or not naloxone is easy to get and free.
Or if FDA
in
has
Australia.
a ruling. None.
Well, until they make it illegal, and then but at least they have that option over there, because the last I checked, it was quite expensive over here. But it would be nice if that was just everywhere, Kevin. We need naloxone everywhere.
Yeah.
Every house should have EpiPens, and naloxone inhaler thingies.
The heart paddle things.
I don't know about that.
No,
There's some people out there that are not smart enough to
you're
operate
jumping my gun now, Zippy. They've become more popular in some public places. That's all.
Oh,
major public places.
Like Walmart has them.
Yeah.
The mall, they have them at the mall. They have them. They're supposed to have them in public venues where people are.
Right. Concert halls, shit like that. They're way more prevalent now than they were 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, they're cheaper now than they were 10 years ago.
I don't expect everybody to carry one. I'm just saying.
When my wife and I
should be way more widely available.
Technology, Kevin, every 6 months they say technology like advances, and with electronics that you buy now in 6 months might probably be obsolete in 6 months.
Yes.
So here's just my wife and I, when we lived together in the apartment like 12 years, 15 years ago, whatever, we bought a 46-inch flat screen Sanyo or Sony TV, and it cost, I want to say, $1,600 for a 46-inch flat screen TV.
Crap. Yeah.
Now, 6 months ago, we bought a 72-inch flat screen TV, and it was only $699.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 7. Yeah, all right.
So, everything, every couple years cuts in half. Price cuts in half. So, yeah, defibrillators, when they first came out, they were pricey. But now they're still probably not cheap, but they're, I'm sure, substantially less expensive than they were, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is not in the show notes, Kev, but let me find my X. Let me go to my X account real quick, Kevin, because we got tagged pretty aggressively this week by Ed. Because Ed wanted us to know that he was keeping track for us of these child abuse stories. Phil, not Ed.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Phil. I was giving Ed credit for your.
See, Roden, I love you way more than he ever will. That's all I need to say.
So, yeah.
Ed's never awake.
Well, he's never sober. So I was required to multi-tweet this story out as many times as possible.
Required.
I felt the urge to make sure that this was spread far and wide, as much as possible.
Because the Cranky Old Broad also.
Yes, she's also keeping track of this as well.
Yeah.
So here, let's present this so that everybody can see. So I'm sure everybody. Yeah, no, it's definitely Phil. They're but we covered this story. I have video clips of family members, outraged that these young ladies were strip searched, and then that state passed that thing so that's strip searches now include down to their underwear. But this is Inglewood Schools the principal says that he's trying to combat vandalism and vaping in his bathrooms. So they're locking the bathroom doors during class, and people cannot pee, poop, or change their feminine hygiene products during class.
Yeah.
So this young lady, a young lady that goes to this school, Kevin, we mentioned this on the show about the psychological damage that would be caused. This exact circumstance.
At least once.
That a young lady would be having her menses and would be caused to soil their clothing and the psychological scarring, because you know how kids are, Kevin. They're getting, you know.
Right.
And, you know, it happened. So this dad is now pulling his daughter from school. So it says here, a dad has pulled his teenage daughter out of and this is New Zealand, by the way, Kevin. Taranaki High School over its policy stopping students from going to the bathroom during class, which he claims caused a menstruating student to bleed through her clothing. The small regional town of Inglewood. So it's a small town, Kevin, and this fucking principal and the lazy ass teachers cannot be bothered to monitor the children that they are responsible for.
They're accusing them of things that may or may not be happening.
Again, when I was in school, and I know that was a very long time ago, I was in school. If I disappeared out of the classroom for longer than the teacher would have assumed that it would take for me to drop a deuce or take a leak, she would have sent another student to get me.
Well, yeah. And then you've been both smoking in the bathroom. Yeah.
Well, but they would have taken some sort of effort.
Yes.
These people, instead of putting forth any effort, they're just victimizing these kids. So even if it wasn't a person, you know, a young lady having her menses, you know, holding your urine in your body for long periods of time is not only painful,
it's bad for you,
but it can cause urinary tract infections. It can cause all sorts of stuff. And, you know, I did actually do, you know, I was having trouble. My art AI that I have access to, was not allowing me to create an AI art with certain terminology to try to illustrate this situation, because it said it was offensive.
Yeah, it's more offensive that this child had to go through what she went through.
Yeah, so let me
way more.
Yeah, here it is right here. So let me share this tab here. Share tab. So I said even the AI art generator knows that blocking kids from using the restroom is offensive and refuses to generate art regarding the inhumane treatment these toilet Nazis are subjecting kids to. And here's the actual the text prompt that I was trying to use. Students in class holding their urge to use the restroom due to teachers blocking them from going until the end of class bell rings. Now, what could be considered offensive there, Kevin? There's nothing. But for some reason, the art generator, it says, it looks like some of the words in your prompt, blah, blah, blah. You can't use those. So there was that one. So I fiddled with it for a while, Kevin. I did ultimately get a scenario where I could create an artwork, because to me it seemed like maybe they're doing a little social experiment here, Kevin. They're trying to modify the behavior of these children.
Socialism.
Like Pavlov did to his dog.
Ding.
So the dog was not allowed to eat until he heard the bell ring. And then over time, he would start salivating when he heard a bell.
Yeah.
So now, as you can see here, we have a picture of a scientist ringing a bell for a doggy. And then right beside it, I have a picture of a doctor with a clipboard and a bell and a little girl trying, They're just engineering these children so that they can only pee when a bell rings.
I don't understand any of it, and I love your thought into that. I do, and I'd like them to explain to me, the adults making these decisions, how long do they have to wait?
Yeah,
because fuck you.
It's like Pavlov and Mengele got together to design a social experiment to engineer kids to pee at the ring of a bell.
Right.
This is all Parents versus Vape and Truth Initiative's fault. Their ideology has caused physical abuse, tasing, hog tying, tear gassing, strip searching, and UTIs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just seems to me this is all inhumane treatment to children.
It isn't seeming. It is. It is. I want to correct you. It is inhumane. I don't ever want to hear my son tell me that his son couldn't go to the bathroom.
Oh, Kevin, I'll get on a plane because I don't have any kids.
Because that's just insane.
Yeah. So this
he's already been told he's going to go. You don't care.
This is sadly not good. This is a Bismarck man. He's arrested after having sex with a teen in exchange for vape pens.
Uh-huh.
A man is facing several years in prison after investigators say he had sex with a 13-year-old girl.
Motherfucker.
Deputies were called to a home outside Bismarck where foster parents reported a teen run away. When the girl returned home, she had told deputies she had gone out to get a vape pen. The victim's foster sister, who is also underage, told investigators she'd been chatting with this dude on Snapchat. She says that this dude asked her if she smoked and wanted a vape pen, and that Lair told her he could pay for the vape with sexual acts. This makes us look like shit, Kevin.
Makes them look like shit.
Well, yeah, but the whole thing, it makes vaping in general.
Right.
Well, the kids are so addicted that they're willing to give blowjobs for it, or this is just another toehold for them to say, well, yeah, this is proof that it's turning our children into sexual deviants and stuff. It's ridiculous, Kevin. It's ridiculous. So, Kev, I have to flip some stuff around in the order of the show tonight.
Uh-oh.
So, right now we're going to do something that we normally do a little bit later. We're going to do it now.
Is it time?
It is actually time.
Wow. Kitty.
It is time. Don't jump the gun. I have to find the clip, Kevin. Yeah, here we go.
It's time for the Vape Cats of the Week.
Wow.
Kitty.
This is one that you put out for us, Kevin.
Look now. Listen, I pull that up a little higher. Rub it.
You'd be able to see
504 views, 4 retweets. 4 retweets. This is one of the most brilliant tweets I've ever seen. And it's right in line with things.
It is your friend Juka.
And I admire this so much because I wish I'd have thought of it kind of one of those things. And that's fucking Juka. That's fucking brilliant. There's nothing less than brilliance out of that. You don't even have to know what the context is. You just read it and you're done.
Now, Kevin, you do see that if we click on Juka's post, the view count goes way higher, and the retweets go way
you
higher.
were on the other one. Okay. Well, still,
because you shared Philip Kirschberg.
Yeah,
that was the one you sent me Philip's retweet. So Philip's retweet has been retweeted. four times and has 504. But then if you go to Juca,
still
that's
11.
almost 2,000.
Still. Michelle.
Just saying.
Dan. GARM.
Yeah.
I love that. Here we can clearly see how the water's on fire, creating lots of smoke. It's undoubtedly combustion because electricity is involved in the heating process. And there you go. I don't know where he got that from, and I just thought that was one of the most brilliant things I've seen.
Yeah. So the next thing that you sent, Kevin, is not really. Well, it is kind of funny because it is Australian Health Services, but it says here a Canberra. This is a Canberra Sexual Health Service have had to apologize after mistakenly providing the public and students from at least one high school with ultrasound probe covers instead of condoms.
That's all you need to know. That's it.
Yeah. Now,
what is wrong with you fuckers?
I got to go over here and see what an ultrasound probe cover looks like. So let me.
I didn't want to look. I didn't care.
Well, I just want to see how they could confuse.
How can you possibly not know that you have no condoms in your hand? I don't understand.
I want to know.
Aren't they marked?
Let's see if there's an image. Oh well. Okay, let me image. Well, they're quite large. Here, well, I need something with size comparison.
As long as the clowns in charge are in charge, this is how it works.
Not of the actual side by side or anything, but just something that, they do kind of have the appearance.
Wouldn't you think it would say condoms on the side of the box if they had a box of them instead of probes? How could they confuse?
In the new tab.
If you ordered it and you had a box of them to give out, wouldn't you find it amusing?
So here's an actual news article.
Yeah.
And these are packaged
condoms.
So this is the lubricated probe cover right here.
Okay.
And the packaging for the condoms, these are obviously,
they look flavored.
Flavored, or maybe they glow in the dark or something, but
Steve. Oh.
No, I have my ad blocker. I have ad blocker now.
And then these are for surgery, right?
No, they're for ultrasound. They're for.
Okay, so the second part of my question on this is why would they have those if they're not surgeons? So.
Well, they must have ordered the wrong thing, Kev.
Well, because. Well, okay, so you ordered the wrong thing.
Yeah.
In charge, some fucking chucklehead went, well, they look like it, so we'll just pass these out. They can't read. This is your health department, right? This is the health planning family, whatever the fuck act.
Yeah. So here's how it works, Kevin. So it goes on so that the actual ultrasound probe does not touch. So there's no contamination issues. At least, I'm not going to show you a picture of a condom side by side to show comparison, Kevin. I don't think our viewers want to see that, but
I'm assuming they all know what they are.
Well,
but I didn't know what a probe thing was. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know what they use the probe for. That could be a very uncomfortable topic.
Probably to test each other for nicotine. That's probably what it is.
At least they're depending on what orifice they're probing.
Right. Come here, Stanton. I heard you.
He's always, hey, Stanton's always interested in what boys' underwear smells like. So, you know,
smell my probe.
But here's one of mine. This is from Ian Fritcher.
Yeah.
He says, wait till you people open your eyes to what every state, including red states, are doing to the nicotine alternative industry. The best harm reduction tool ever to be available that makes up a few $100 million market being crushed left and right by tyrannical state lawmakers, all being backed and funded by big tobacco conglomerates.
Oh, geez. And we're not the only ones.
This is in response to Donald Jr. Bitching about the Democrat VP candidate wanting to tax Zyn 95%. But I don't know if Ian understands that Zyn is a big tobacco company.
Probably not. But
so yeah, he's saying the big tobacco conglomerates are making the Democratic lawmaker here institute a 95% tax on Zyn, but
think for a second. Ian's just walking into this game. Let's pretend, and he's like, "Well, vaping and Zyn and pouches and stuff."
Big tobacco is the enemy. Big tobacco has never been the enemy, Kevin.
You can't possibly tell me myself that I would go, "Oh, I get all this, and I'm going to make this little survey, and I'm going to do my thing." And no, I'd be like, "These people are insane," and I'd turn it back off at this point.
Yep.
I understand his confusion.
And then my last selection for tonight, Kevin, is from Roman. And Roman says, nicotine is a drug with useful productivity enhancing neurological effects. The regime does not want you to be productive. They want you to be ugly, obese, distracted, fretful, lonely, and demoralized.
That's right.
They fear people gathering, chain smoking, and plotting revolution.
Mm-hmm. They don't want no porches. They don't want you sitting there thinking about it. Get to work.
It could be possible. And that was also in response to somebody over here saying, I would like a clear explanation for why the crusade against smoking, which is clearly bad for you, has from the beginning always expanded to include all alternative sources of nicotine, many of which Snus and Zyn are not clearly harmful at all. That's true.
Festus. Sonia.
Did you see that?
So Sonia ventured this past week.
Ventured?
Good. That's all I need to say. That's all I need to just calm down.
Venture?
Just ventured.
Did she have an adventure?
Maybe. I wanted to say that was I thought that was a great thing. That's all. So I don't want you sending me no more probes. All right. Thank you.
No more probes. So Kevin, I stumbled across this video this week on YouTube from a site, a YouTube channel called Joe. I don't know what Joe is, but it's just Joe. The title of the video, this is near and dear to your heart, Kevin.
Yeah.
The title of the video is Old People Try Vapes and Snus for the First Time.
I saw the message. I did not click on it because I've saved my reactions for you and you.
So let me know. We're gonna play this. Let me know if you have sound when I hit play here, Kevin.
I will thumbs you up with a probe.
We will pause this repeatedly and make comments because we don't want to get copyright stricken for borrowing content from another channel without transform. We have to transform the video, Kevin. We have to make changes. We have to add context and content.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm in heaven. Ooh, my favorite. Oh, actually, I'm getting a nicotine hit now.
Like Marlon Brando here in The Godfather.
I've got to get my false teeth out on it before I can put it in properly again.
Kits, isn't it? Jen said.
Are they
out there? Bad stuff.
That look like.
Is it just vape?
Well, no, the one where the lady was pushing, she was putting a snooze in. She said, I have to get my dentures out, mate. Maybe I have to get my dentures out.
I'm just making sure they ain't using cannabis or some shit.
No. This is Kevin right here. This is an
old
version of Kevin right here.
Me. That was what I'll look like bald. There you go.
He's got a Guinness too.
Hey, I kind of like the shirt though. That's kind of me.
I fully support his Guinness right there.
I'm on fire. Is this a Snus? Is it?
Lavinia is 74, Kevin.
Well, I'll be damned. Look at that.
Excusez-moi. Ooh, my favourite. I'll take you home with me. This is one of our favourite boys, a vape, I'm assuming.
No, these are popular, aren't they, these things? And I think...
He's your age, Kevin. Thomas, 68.
Yeah, he's 68. Yeah, that's me.
Companies cynically marketing these towards younger people.
Oh, it's watermelon. Ooh.
I don't think a person who's my age has been growing up.
Adults don't like watermelon. Lady, what's the matter with you?
No,
you
she said,
crazy old broad. Where's Skip?
Drinking or smoking a pack a day is suddenly going to say, like, I fancy a blue.
Now, I want to go back to what this schmuck is saying. I don't like him at all. He's under his breath. He's making several snarky comments. Tom is here, so it's
younger people.
Oh, it's watermelon.
He says that cynically. He's saying that they're marketing this to younger people.
Ooh.
I don't think a person who's at my age has been growing up drinking.
So he says, I don't think anybody my age who's been smoking a pack a day would pick one of these up and enjoy it.
Or smoking a pack a day is suddenly going to say, like, I fancy a blueberry vape.
I'm in a euphoric state when I suck on this.
Okay, so you pull that out.
Get that rubber off. It's not used. You say that and say, get that rubber on, don't they? You know that's one. Oh, it's not bad, actually. Not bad.
Oh, bloody hell. I was expecting to do that so quickly.
Lovely, lovely.
She's having way too much fun, Kevin.
She's my favorite so far.
I think she's putting on a show. She's enjoying herself way too much. She's got look at her sexy fuzzy slippers and her sequined jumper.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes, bliss.
Bliss.
I'm on fire.
I'm on
You
fire.
both smoking.
Well, see, now there you go.
Oh, could you imagine my kids seeing me smoke? They push me in the river. Very convincing watermelon flavour. I feel like I'm in the Bahamas or on a sunny tropical island with my puffings.
So do I have this with a pint? Now we're talking.
If you're trying to give up smoking, that is very pleasant. Flavour-wise good.
Kids, isn't it? Jen said, out there, go for a rum.
Oh, get your
That's
stick in it.
You could end up with cancer, though, couldn't you? If it goes to your lungs and all that. I think, well, at my age, I want to live. I don't want to die. So I think it's not bad. I mean, not for me, but for young people, it's, I give it quite a good mark.
I mean, I'll give that a 0 simply because it's not something I'd buy. I can't really see anything good to say about them.
I'd say 9 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Since I don't smoke and I haven't used a vape, I would say 9 out of 10. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Huh.
So the one dummy is this guy over there. I give it a see. They are giving and they said I don't smoke,
right?
But I give this because it's these three. This guy over here, he says, well, I wouldn't buy it. Like he's only thinking about himself when he rated it there. Did you see that?
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Well, let's see what they do for the snus.
Right, what's this?
Ooh. It looks like a tape measure.
Now, I've heard something called Snus.
This product contains nicotine. Interesting. Okay.
Right.
That's how Kevin reads things. He has to pull out his
that's right.
magnifying glass.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you go from here? Is this the first test? Oh,
he's already broken it.
Open.
You got to break the
How do you
paper.
open this thing? I don't know. Ooh, wrapped up in little.
There's lots of little things in here. Oh, it's minty.
It smells like chewing gum. It's not bad, is it?
Well, this is a nicotine product, right, which you put here, helps to stop you to stop smoking real cigarettes. So we're going to try it.
Chocolate. Okay. Like Marlon Brando here in The Godfather.
All right.
So like, yeah, in between your gum and your lip. Like that, in front of your teeth.
Get up there.
I mean, could you imagine you've got false teeth and you've got this thing stuck in your mouth? Yeah, I'm definitely getting a little ziz.
It tastes minty.
She's getting a little ziz.
Mildly uncomfortable, and I can feel a slight burning sensation.
Good.
Makes you fun things.
I think my cup of tea. In fact,
Oh
I
my
prefer
God.
a cup of tea than this.
I find that annoying, personally. I would prefer the little vape we had before.
There you go.
Could you talk a little bit oddly with these?
Well, it won't stop me vaping. No, that's for sure.
It's a piece of paper with some rubbish in the middle because it's making no difference to me except it's making my gums hurt.
Oh, actually, I'm getting a nicotine hit now.
Ah.
No, I am. But I certainly wasn't getting from the vape. Interesting.
And I like it.
Why would you stick that in your mouth for half an hour? I'd rather inject myself with the stuff.
I would not buy that. I don't like the idea of the papery bit in your mouth. And it started to burn the gun.
I'd give it 1 out of 10 and just show all my enemies that they've all died anyway. So there's only a couple left.
Well, if I was going to give the vape 0, I'd probably give that 2. As in, it doesn't impact on other people.
All you get in this is nicotine, which isn't going to harm you. What was I, 7? I'm going to give it 8. Let's be generous.
Now look at her.
This lady is at least thinking about it, you know.
Right. Others.
You know, the other guy, he gave the snus or the nicotine pouches a 2 because he says it doesn't impact others.
Mm-hmm.
But she's the only one that's been a fair in both products has given a fair assessment of the product.
Good for you, Joe.
So, you know, everybody shout out to Joe, to the Joe channel on YouTube.
Thanks, Joe. That's funny.
But I saw that and I said, "Oh, well, we'll waste a few minutes tonight talking about that."
That's
but funny. That was a little entertaining, a little fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kev.
Oh.
Now we get to have the fun, the fun part of the show.
Don't rile me up.
We've got to do some work here, Kevin. We've got to do some work here.
That's fine.
So, a while ago, Elon gave a, Elon doesn't even need 2 names anymore because everybody knows who Elon is when you say Elon.
Yeah.
But Elon gave an interview at some thing in New York or whatever, and he made some controversial statements. So we're gonna rehash that a little bit. I made a little clip of some of his statements.
I mean, the degree to which old Twitter was basically a sock puppet of the government was ridiculous. So, it seems to me that there's a...
So when he bought Twitter, there was some initial criticism because he said we were going to make it a free speech platform.
Yeah.
And, and obviously he was criticizing how easily the government pushed their agenda onto the previous owners of Twitter. And when he rebranded it and purchased it and rebranded it, he said that, So in this first little segment, he's talking about free speech and the importance of free speech.
Well, yeah.
A very severe violation of the First Amendment in terms of how much government control, how much control the government had over old Twitter, and it no longer does. So, there's a reason for the First Amendment. The reason for the First Amendment for freedom of speech is because the people that immigrated to this country came from places where there was not freedom of speech, and they were like, you know what, we got to make sure that that's constitutional. Because where they came from, if they said something, they'd be put in prison, or they'd be, something bad would happen to them. So, and freedom of speech, you have to say, when is it relevant? It's only relevant when someone you don't like can say something you don't like, or it has no meaning. And as soon as you sort of, throw in the towel and concede to censorship, it is only a matter of time before someone censors you. And that is why we have the First Amendment.
So the importance of free speech is that everyone can say what they want to say without fear of retaliation.
Even if you don't like it.
Obviously people can respond to your free speech the way that they feel like they should be able to, but you should not, the government should not be victimizing people for having different views. No. That's the whole point of free speech. I mean, obviously, if I say something that Bastard in the chat room doesn't like, Bastard is free to also say what he feels. And same thing with Festus. Festus can do the same thing. And so forth and so on. Everybody, and the whole point of free speech is that even people that have opinions that disagree with other people, they have the right to have their own, words, to use their words and not be, arrested, not be attacked, not be destroyed for saying that, whatever it is that they, whatever they say. So this next bit is because of people trying to push their views on you and threatening you.
There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger
I hope
today.
they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
But
you see that guy? He's like,
if I'm the only one applauding, that's fine. I don't care. You can play it all you want.
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
And now, see the body language, the guy.
But
go fuck yourself. Is that clear?
You hear the nervous
I hope it
laughter
is.
the second time.
Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Now, hey, Bob, he's referring to Bob Iger, who is the head of Disney, who threatened to pull all of their advertising revenue off of Twitter or X because they disagreed with some people having the ability to say whatever they wanted. They were offended by some of the comments by users of the application and said, if you don't censor those people, we're going to pull our advertising dollars off of your platform.
Bye.
And Elon said, I am a free speech absolutist. Everybody should have the right to say what they want to say.
I thought he was clear. Like him or hate him, if
fuck yourself,
If you can't appreciate that, then I can't help you.
So now he's going to talk about what happens when there's an advertising boycott.
Let me ask you then.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think then about the economics of X? if part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift, maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from.
Oh, and there has been questions. I just saw my monthly payment to Twitter for my little edit button.
Yeah.
I pay $11 a month for the edit button.
Advertising. If you believe that this is the one part of your business where you will be beholden to those who have this view, what do you do?
G-F-Y.
G-F-Y.
I understand that, but there's a reality too, right?
I don't like the answer.
Yes. No.
I mean, Linda Yaccarino's right here, and she's got to sell advertising.
Absolutely. So, totally. So, no. Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do, it's going to kill the company.
And you think that
and the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
So there he's late. He threw down the gauntlet right there. We're going to keep track of this. We're going to keep record of this.
Yeah.
Because this comes into play in just a few minutes, Kevin.
Yeah.
But those advertisers, I imagine, are going to say we didn't kill the company.
Oh yeah.
They're going to say
tell it to Earth.
But they're going to say Elon, that you killed the company because you said these things, and that they were inappropriate things, and that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform, right? That's what they're going to say.
And let's see how Earth responds to that.
This goes back to
we'll both make our cases,
right?
And we'll see what the outcome is.
What are the economics of that for you? I mean, you have enormous resources, so you can actually keep this company going for a very long time. Would you keep it going for a long time if there was no advertising?
I mean, if the company failed.
So again, he's saying the people will judge,
Yep.
But actually the judge will be the judge.
Because of an advertised boycott. It will fail because of an advertised boycott. And that will be what bankrupted the company, and that's what everybody on Earth will know.
What do you think then of the... this goes back to the idea of trust, though.
Then it'll be gone. And it'll be gone because of an advertised boycott.
So, he's saying, if Twitter fails, or if X fails because of an advertising boycott, we're going to have a kid. He said the people will judge, the Earth. Tell it to the Earth. But actually, according to Linda Yaccarino, who he referred to in that video as the president, she's actually the person in charge of Twitter. She made an announcement on the 6th, just a few days ago. Let's present this now. This is Linda Yaccarino here. So let's play this.
I was shocked by the evidence uncovered by the House Judiciary Committee that a group of companies organized a systematic illegal boycott against X. It is just wrong.
So a U.S. government body, the Senate Judiciary Committee, the House Judiciary Committee, provided evidence that showed that an illegal advertising ban, a conspiracy to create an advertising ban existed.
Ta-da.
And that's what I said. He said, we're going to keep notes. We're taking notes,
That is why we are taking action. Today, we filed an antitrust lawsuit against the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, 4 of its key members, and the World Federation of Advertisers. These organizations targeted our company and you, our users. The evidence and facts are on our side. They conspire to boycott X, which threatens our ability to thrive in the future. That puts your global town square the one place that you can express yourself freely and openly at long-term risk. People are hurt when the marketplace of ideas is constricted. No small group of people should be able to monopolize what gets monetized. This group is no match for the power of our users. All of you, the very same users that have driven usage of X to all-time highs. I joined X because I believe in the power of the global town square.
I believe in the size of the paycheck that Elon gives me. Now, when they hired her to take over X, there were a lot of people that were very critical and said that she was a social justice warrior and wasn't going to be any better than the previous people in charge of Twitter.
Okay.
But I think I have heard of way fewer people getting their accounts locked. They're, banned from Twitter, people that I know. We know people, Kevin, that were banned on Twitter.
We do. Yes, we do.
For life.
The one exception would be Fergus, because he's had, I think, 47 accounts by now.
Yeah, he's got to start to figure out which one he's using, but yeah.
I've lost track.
Yeah.
And it's the Fergus, by the way.
Even Dr. Glover lost her account for a whole year for nothing, for nonsense, for lies.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's users like you, people of all backgrounds and opinions, who make X indispensable.
You
deserve an open platform where your views can be expressed without restriction and without fear. To all of you who have been part of this transformative journey that we're on, thank you. Rest assured, X has never been more committed to innovating and expanding all of our global town square.
So they announced that day that they had filed a lawsuit, a federal lawsuit against several different people and groups.
Good.
In response to this advertising boycott / whatever. So the Federalist, let me rub this a little bit here. The Federalist published a story. It says X sues global advertising giants for coordinating illegal boycott designed to punish free speech. So X is suing a cabal of some of the world's largest advertising giants for organizing an alleged illegal boycott to prevent advertisers from spending their money with companies that openly advocate for free speech. Section 1 of the Sherman Act explicitly prohibits organizations from conspiring against commerce or restraint of trade. X's antitrust lawsuit, which was filed in a Texas court on Tuesday, aims to punish the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, that's GARM, and several of its members, including CVS Health, Mars, which is a candy bar, Orsted, Unilever, and the World Federation of Advertisers, for trying to suppress online free speech by unfairly targeting some of the biggest promoters of the First Amendment. So these are big. Unilever's a gigantic company, Kevin. It's like they make everything. The huge conglomerate owns bunches of big giant companies.
Mm-hmm.
And if they pull, and they apparently did, pulled all of their advertising money and pressured other companies to do the same thing.
Of course. Well, hey, Patrick, I don't like blank, so I don't want you to like blank. And you would say what? Go fuck yourself.
And Rumble, the new home to our, it's the newest place that we broadcast, has also signed up to be a plaintiff
good.
In this lawsuit. So it's X and Rumble suing these companies. So the lawsuit, which video streaming company Rumble also joined, comes on the heels of the House Judiciary Committee report alleging GARM likely violated federal antitrust laws by colluding with giant ad buyer Group M to coordinate the demonetization of news websites, platforms, and podcasts. It deemed guilty of wrongthink, Kevin.
Wrongthink.
Yeah, where's my 1984? I got 19 here.
Double plus.
Get my 1984 down from the shelf here, Kevin, so you can. Wrongthink.
Wrongthink. I'd imagine that if any of you have been on my Twitter and seen my pinned tweet, it says I'm not shutting up, so I'm all for this.
Yeah. So it says here, GARM specifically targeted X with an advertising boycott shortly after the Tesla CEO, Elon Musk, acquired the company in October of 2022, which allegedly cost the company billions of dollars in potential ad sales. Correspondence obtained by the committee shows GARM co-founder Rob Rakowitz bragged about and even took credit for Twitter's revenue decline, according to the committee report. And here's a copy of the email.
Oh, it's a dumb thing to do, wasn't it?
Yeah. According to Yacarino, X has never been more committed to innovating and expanding all of our global town square. This is especially important given GARM's anti-free speech history and attempts to use government-backed censors like Global Disinformation Index and NewsGuard, which repeatedly blacklist conservative outlets such as The Federalist to determine who gets advertisers' dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have these gigantic companies working with an ad buying, so people may not understand, like when Dimitri and Little Nose and they were working on that media campaign. They're working on a media campaign to buy ad space on network TV.
Okay.
So people don't go directly to the networks and buy space. They go through an ad buyer.
Right.
And the ad buyer sells chunks of advertisement to different networks. So that ad buyer is the one that essentially buys your advertisement. You pay them. They distribute your ads through their network of cohorts and friends.
If
you see your chocolate friend in the chat room there, Kevin,
what?
He's upset that robot internet bot chicks are trying to find. It's because of your smile, Chris. The bot is just attracted to your beautiful smile.
Chris, I understand you just can't be ugly, and it's okay. It's okay not to be ugly.
So Elon said, we tried peace for 2 years. Now it's war. That's what he said on his tweet here when he retweeted. So there's that. Now, Kevin, you remember this, but other people who don't follow us over to the Rumble portion of the show may not remember when we discussed GARM.
We did discuss GARM, yes.
Like months and months ago.
Yeah, quite a while.
We discussed GARM.
Yeah.
So just for our people here, we're going to do a little refresher real quick, Kevin.
Fine.
So if we go to the World Economic Forum website, Kevin, the World Economic Forum, if you go to Davos, that these are the billionaire people that some people, the tinfoil hat crowd, say that the World Economic Forum is the Illuminati or whatever. These are ultra powerful companies and people that get together and claim that they're, helping steer, the world.
For the better good.
So
it's for the better good.
GARM is a wing of the World Economic Forum, Kevin. It's right on the World Economic Forum website. This is, and then if you look over here to the right in little print, right over here, Kevin, It says World Federation of Advertisers.
Yeah.
So GARM is the Global Alliance for Responsible Media. With nearly 3.8 billion people online, the world is increasingly connected, and yet the increase in dangerous, hateful, disruptive, and fake content online risks threatening our global community. Members of the Global Alliance for Responsible Media recognize the role that advertisers can play in collectively pushing to improve the safety of online environments. Together, they are collaborating with publishers and platforms to do more to address harmful and misleading media environments and to develop and deliver against a concrete set of actions, processes, protocols to protect brands.
Yeah.
So, here's a list of things that they claim that they're doing. They're limiting hate speech. Okay, that's fine. They're bullying. That's fine. Disinformation. That's fine. But they get to define what these are. And if your opinion is different than theirs, your statements could be turned into hate speech or bullying or disinformation quite easily because we don't agree with you, Kevin. So now I had when I created my show notes earlier and I was sending links out, Kevin, I had linked directly to the GARM. They have their own website, Kevin. But between the time that I sent you the link and tonight, the GARM website has changed, Kevin.
Well, somebody fishing around too much,
So the GARM website.
Yeah.
Now this is the World Federation of Advertisers website. And here's a statement on GARM. Today, we announced that GARM will discontinue its activities, Kevin.
Oh, how about that?
The Global Alliance for Responsible was a voluntary cross-industry initiative created in 2019 to address digital safety. GARM was set up in the wake of the Christchurch, New Zealand mosque shootings, which the blah, blah, blah. Now, Kevin.
Yeah.
It's down here. It says GARM is a small not-for-profit initiative and recent allegations that unfortunately misconstrue its purpose. Kevin.
What?
Did you not just see over here, right here on the World Economic Forum's website where they claim that they are that GARM is part of the World Economic Forum, which is not a small independent organization, Kevin.
No. They're rebranding.
So, GARM is a small not-for-profit initiative. What? That is a branch of the World Economic Forum? What?
Well, once you hear the lawsuit, then we'll just change names. We'll become something else.
Don't believe what's on our other website. Believe what's on this website. We're just small nobodies. We're not a part of this billionaire cadre of people that control the length of the dresses this year and what people buy and the news that people sees on TV.
How you think? We don't want that.
The world. They're part of the World Economic Forum, Kevin.
Which somewhere along the line just leads me to believe they're connected in some incestuous way with who. That's all I can think.
Yeah. So
just
so these shenanigans are now being halted, Kevin.
Huh.
The GARM is no more.
Earth knows.
GARM is no more because they have voluntarily decided that before anybody can figure out that they're part of the World Economic Forum, that we're gonna just we're gonna do this. So
they're gonna rebrand.
Elon Musk scores a victory for X by shutting down GARM. And let's pause this video here and
he's giggling. You know he's giggling.
Well, of course.
Wow. No sound.
No sound?
I didn't hear anything.
Hey.
Nope.
No sound?
Nope.
All right.
I could have just sat there and pretended.
I want everybody to hear.
Bird's a word.
Bird is the word. All right, let's try it again.
The Global Alliance for Responsible Media is discontinuing after Musk's ex accused the group of boycotting the platform.
No, but the problem is he didn't accuse the House Judiciary Committee. Found evidence and said that there is proof.
Well, that's not what she said.
GARM interfered with commerce and.
I was going to ask you, who actually said that? Was that him? He didn't say that.
Global Alliance for Responsible Media, known as GARM, is a nonprofit group of advertisers led by the World Federation of Advertisers. GARM aims to help brands from having harmful or illegal content appear alongside ads. The lawsuit that X filed claimed GARM violated antitrust laws by coordinating with brands to persuade them not to spend money on X. The World Federation of Advertisers denied GARM's work violated antitrust laws, but said GARM did not have the financial resources to continue.
They're part of the World Economic Forum, Kevin.
They can't handle money.
So
we're broke.
So what's going to happen, though, Kevin? And Michelle is slightly right. She says, but GARM is still there. They aren't going away.
Right.
So
they're going to rebrand. That's all.
They're just going to rebrand. We'll talk about that in just 1 minute.
Continue its operations while fighting X in court. In an email first obtained by Business Insider, the CEO of the World Federation of Advertisers said, quote, "This decision was not made lightly, but GARM is a non-for-profit organization and its resources are limited."
The House Judiciary Committee reacted to the news on X, writing, quote, "Big win for the First Amendment, big win for oversight." To which the CEO of X, Linda Yaccarino, said, quote, "No small group should be able to monopolize what gets monetized."
It's not a small group, Kevin. These people are idiots. They're just completely ignoring the fact. That at Davos this year, they announced the creation, the World Economic Forum announced the creation of GARM on their website. That's when we covered it, was during Davos this year, Kevin.
Okay.
This is not some sort of weird conspiracy theory.
Right.
This is when we were reading about what happened at Davos, this was the thing that we covered.
He said, go fuck yourself. Hi. He called him out.
This is an important acknowledgement and a necessary step in the right direction. I am hopeful that it means ecosystem-wide reform is coming. And the Daily Wire's Ben Shapiro also celebrated the decision, calling GARM a, quote, censorship syndicate. Let's watch.
I testified before Congress just a few weeks ago about the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, which was effectively a
Now, Kevin.
What?
I think, Ben Shapiro's got millions and millions of dollars. He's got an entire staff of people to research stuff that he's going to talk about. And we somehow scooped him months ago. Two chuckleheads.
Well, you did it.
To talk about
I was just
harm reduction in vaping and snus and
it's a never
opioids.
Intertwining. Yeah, it's an ever intertwining spine of shit that we end up doing. It's all related, one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, we had a friend who lost her presence on Twitter,
who did nothing wrong.
That put this censorship shit. Well, and the thing that we can't talk about on YouTube.
Yeah,
didn't help the situation.
No.
All those people that had to stay at home and couldn't go to work, and they spent all their time on X, and then they would say something on X or Twitter, and it was Twitter, and lose their channel and lose their account or whatever, just for speaking their mind.
Right.
Yeah, that's Hunky's here.
censorship syndicate designed to shut down all advertising dollars to anyone on the right side of the aisle. Essentially a third-party delegated company that all these advertising agencies would go to. They would create a false standard for what was acceptable or non-acceptable material. And then they would tell advertisers that they simply should not and could not put their money with untrustworthy sources. All those untrustworthy sources were always on the right, of course.
So that happened. So they went out of bit, or they're closing down. They're temporarily, closing doors to change the name on the doors, Kevin.
Well, yeah.
So now we
swap titles. That's all.
This is another thing that we talked about. Here, let me close some of these tabs. I got too many tabs.
That's why we're the #1 show on Friday night.
Yeah. So now we talked about this as well. This is the BBC working with news outlets to create a trusted news initiative. Down here, if you look, there was a list, I think, down here of who is in the trusted news, and here, I think it's maybe over here. So the BBC is working with different news agencies, different social media groups. This is the Trusted News Initiative. I'm sure, this is an alternate version, if you will, Kevin, of the same bullshit.
Well, it says trusted right on it now.
Okay.
Like
So-
Truth Initiative, same idea.
There's that.
Hmm?
Let me close that one. Yeah. Then Kevin, I found another website that is called Influence Watch, and Influence Watch says the Trusted News Initiative is a coalition of left of center media organizations and social media companies created by the BBC in 2019 with the specific aim of flagging disinformation during elections.
Yeah. Well,
so there's a whole section here on that thing that I can't say online about blacklisting people for saying things, and then oh, hear me. There's another one. There's a whole nother one here, Kevin. This is from the Public Media Alliance. The Trusted News Initiative creates an Asia Pacific partnership network so that they can steer the news in all of these third world and Southeast Asian countries: Australia, Pakistan, India, Indonesia, Japan, and Australia.
Yeah.
So, they got their hooks in already, Kevin.
Yeah.
So just because GARM is gone doesn't mean that suddenly the internet and social media is going to be fair for everybody.
No.
Yeah. So, that it is a temporary win for Elon, Kevin.
Yes. When the news tells you what you need to know, it's what they want you to know. And when they say Truth Initiative has always bugged the shit out of me because that's not what it is. They're not taking any initiative to tell you the truth, so it's kind of a false advertising.
Well, I'm sure Michael Bloomberg is one of those trusted sources.
Right. I felt deceived to begin with before I stopped smoking on a few other things. And then after I stopped smoking, I was like, what is wrong with you fucking people? Every one of you, including this show. You and Fig and I had a backdoor thing. And I said, are you guys censoring me? Are we having a script? And you said no and no.
No,
and
we
I
don't
said,
have a script.
I said, I'm in. I said, I'm in because fuck you if you are. I'm not doing that.
I mean, Kevin, let's be 100% honest here. You and I have a private message thread where you submit things to me and I submit things to you, and we, I put it in order, and if you put it in the chat room, 99.9% of the time we're going to cover it. There was a couple times where you submitted stuff that was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
And I even
Let's
said,
hit
well,
it.
you sent a link that was 4 years old. I didn't know what you wanted to do with it. So,
And you do show it anyway.
Yeah.
But to have you or Fig go, well, we're not allowed to talk about this, or we don't want.
The only thing we're not allowed to talk about is we can talk about it. We just can't say the C word out loud while we're on YouTube. That's the only rule.
There's only two things that I can recall. There's one name I'm not allowed to say.
Oh well,
I remember
that name.
That's a different story.
Is now irrelevant, though. I haven't seen him.
Right, and that was
we outlasted him.
I wasn't planning to, but yeah, okay. So I would not have joined had you guys said, "Well, we can't talk about."
No, we're going to talk about what I want to talk about, not what you want to talk about.
Yeah, it's all right.
This is a partnership, Kevin. Even though it's my show, it's still a partnership.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be the king. It might as well be
eventually.
Me.
All right, that's fine.
So this article, Kevin, goes with the topic that we were just talking about. It probably should be on the Rumble portion of the show, but we're gonna live dangerously. Because it does go with everything that we just talked about, free speech and blah blah blah.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
So if we disappear off of YouTube unexpectedly, here let me go over here real quick.
You're gonna pre-link it?
I'm gonna throw the link to the Rumble.
Look at you
into the YouTube chat room.
Yeah,
early. Well, not early because it's right after this article. We're going to go to the Rumble anyway.
Rumble-medium.
Yeah, Kevin said he wanted a really short show, so
that's not what I said.
Yeah,
that's what you've said. That
I want to go to bed early is what he said.
That's what I said.
There's the link in the chat right now for the Rumble. In case in the middle of us covering this story, we lose our YouTube feed. Join us over there because Rumble won't block us. The Rumble won't do that to us. But here, let me present. Let's present, Kevin.
You'd be so proud.
So it says here that the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, violated free speech by blocking activist comments, the court rules.
No.
Yes. Let me see.
Isn't that like hiding my replies?
Yeah.
for any government entity?
It says here the NIH violated activist First Amendment rights when it deleted comments on the NIH Facebook and Instagram pages, according to the U.S. Court of Appeals. Animal rights activists had been posting comments to the NIH social media posts to advocate against animal testing. The agency's moderation policy prohibits off-topic posts and uses keyword filters to hide comments containing words such as animal, testing, and cruel. Activist comments were filtered out and hidden from the public. People for the, and I'm not a member of PETA because I like tasty animals, but they have the NIH is a branch of the United States government. They have the right to speak out against them.
Yes.
So people for the ethical treatment of animals sued, arguing the agency's social media pages were traditional public forums, and the government is not allowed to censor speech on the platforms. A U.S. district court first ruled the NIH's content moderation restrictions were reasonable, agreeing with the agency's claim that it was trying to avoid having social media pages inundated with repetitive, irrelevant comments. PETA appealed that decision, and the appeals court for the D.C. Circuit made a ruling. The government should tread carefully when enforcing any speech restriction to ensure it is not viewpoint discriminatory and does not inappropriately censor criticism or exposure of government actions. So it doesn't matter if it's annoying.
No,
Kevin. That's what they're saying is that it's annoying, and we filter out those comments because we find them annoying.
No, fuck you.
Well, because it's off topic. Whatever. The government cannot censor you because you're annoying.
I'm annoying. That's my wife.
That's true. I totally agree.
I have references.
Yeah. The court disagreed, however, that social media sites were public forums, instead ruling the NIH intended to create a forum limited solely to the discussion of certain topics, and that in a limited public forum, speech restrictions may be based on subject matter. So free speech wins, blah, blah, blah. In a post on X, did you see Ed shows up like half an hour, 45 minutes after we talk about him?
Do you see what he said? I trust him
when he's sober, but no, he doesn't trust you when he's drunk.
I'll get you home, and I'm an old cab driver. I'll get you home.
So, safe. Kevin,
what
do you think if the NIH posted an anti-vaping thread on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and a bunch of us decided to go, argue with them,
yes,
that they would be limiting our free speech?
More than likely, yes.
And Kevin, we have noticed that at certain times, our comments have been not deleted, but hidden.
Hidden, very well hidden. Yes.
And if you don't know how to find the hidden comments, you don't even know that they've been hidden.
I wish Elon, because I know Elon's a fan. I really wish he would take that hide comment shit away.
Yeah,
that's part of the free speech, in my opinion. But
it is.
I get why they want to hide it. I understand.
So now that we have a court ruling that the NIH did censor free speech.
Yes, they do
on social media.
They have. You'll notice on over the years, not so much anymore because I'm tired. I would take like Truth Manipulative is one of my favorite things. I changed their logo. I use their exact logo. I just changed it to Manipulative.
Yeah.
With their little R and all that shit. I'm still waiting on one of these agencies, which the federal government I don't think could, or the nonprofit political front group pigs, to say, hey, Kev, this is our attorney, and we would like you to stop. I'm waiting. I've been waiting on that for years. They haven't done it yet. They've blocked me, which is another form of censorship, but it's okay. I'll be all right.
So Kev,
I'm encouraging it. What?
We're ready. We're gonna go. We're gonna slide over to the Rumble.
Oh, damn.
The link is in the chat. I'm opening all of the articles that we have for the Rumble so that we're prepared. I'm going to go get some water so that I can hydrate.
You should.
You can go get some coffee.
I should.
And we'll be back in, maybe what? You got to give Ed time to pee. I need time here. What should I play?
I don't know.
That will eat up a couple minutes of time. I just played that one. I need a longish one. Here, Kevin, we'll do the strip search while everybody's gone. We haven't played the strip search in a while.
All right,
so we'll be back in a few minutes, boys and girls. Only on the Rumble.
We are one nation under God, and knowing that inspires us. It inspires us to look within and find that fundamental respect and care that we should have for one another.
Bring your hands up for me. Okay, good.
Check the armpits. Take your time. Look carefully.
Okay, bring them down. Okay, let's spread your legs a little bit wider. Okay. Okay, lift your penis for me, please. Okay. Testicles.
If he's uncircumcised, ask him to pull back the foreskin.
Let's turn around.
Look at the neck, back, spinal area, and buttocks.
Okay, bend forward for me, please. And spread your buttocks.
Look for anything inserted. Observe any constricting of the rectal muscles, which may indicate the inmate is straining to retain something.
Okay.
You may see a thin string, indicating something is there. If you have any suspicion,